can't fool me. I know who you are. You don't know anything about me, loser. I know everything about you. I know you play like you're the meanest and the hardest, but actually, you're the most scared of all. Shut up! I know you steal batteries you don't need, and you push away anyone who's willing to put up with you, because just a little bit of love reminds you of how big and empty that hole inside of you actually is. I said shut up! I know them scientists what made you, never gave a rat's ass about you. I'm serious, dude. Just like my own damn parents who sold me, their own little baby, into slavery. I know who you are, boy, because you're me. What kind of pair are we? The kind that's about to go and fight a planet. This scene is from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, written and directed by James Gunn. It is about this point of the movie where I can't really see anything more through my tears. The entire movie's climax is powerful and tear-jerking, and that is one of the scenes that really sticks to me. Because it is harsh. This is supposed to be a Marvel movie, a fun story where you see a superhero fight and save the day. And what that scene has is one of Marvel's big heroes, Rocket, get brutally deconstructed. He is shown not to be some glorious hero who deserves to be next to the Avengers. He is shown as a pathetic man who does terrible things just to piss people off. Except at the end, something happens. Instead of just yelling about all the horrible things Rocket does, the character, Yondu, reaches out and they connect through a shared common empathy of their own experiences. And even though Rocket is terrible, so was Yondu. And that is actually why Guardians of the Galaxy are my favourite Marvel movies. Because they are about people who are bad, who are riddled with flaws, not just cute tiny little flaws that don't actually mean anything, major ones. And Rocket especially, he is the worst of the Guardians. And here's the other thing about Rocket. He's inspired by the director himself. James Gunn sees himself in Rocket. That is not a flattering self-depiction. To write that scene and a character who might as well be yourself. But that was James Gunn's past. He needed to improve. He was that horrible person described in that speech. He didn't have even scientists experimenting on him, but he suffered a terrible childhood and other struggles, and it led to him lashing out in ways that aren't appropriate, but he improved. And he said in interviews that the scene in the first Guardians of the Galaxy where Peter Quill stands up and says, maybe the universe is giving us a chance to give a shit. James Gunn described that as a speech he always needed to hear. James Gunn has just been fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. From 10 years ago, during that period I described, he had a series of really bad jokes on his Twitter. They were joking about content like rape and pedophilia. They weren't in any way suggestive of him actually doing anything like that. It is just crappy jokes. But it fits that profile, that Rocket, that is used to describe Rocket. Someone lashing out in ways designed to push people away and offend. And just like Rocket, he improved. In fact, to see what his voice was today, where despite the fact that he writes the Marvel movies with the bad guys, he always showed himself as a vision of decency and humanity. He became very political in the last few years with everything happening around the world, but he always focused on just presenting a human face and trying to be the most decent person. He wasn't before, but that is who he became. He redeemed himself from that past, just like the characters in his movies, and he became a better person. Unfortunately, not everyone is happy with what this new James Gunn said. As I said, he got increasingly political, and this drew the attention of someone called Mike Cernovich, who intentionally went through his Twitter feed to find anything that he could use to weaponise against James Gunn, and then launched a disingenuous attack on James Gunn to try and use these tweets as proof that he was a paedophile. Whether Disney actually believed that disingenuous attack, or they just got alarmed at the sorts of jokes that James Gunn used to tell. Jokes which Disney knew existed when they hired him, but only now have become public. We can't say for certain. But Disney responded to that attack by firing James Gunn, which to me is a truly great injustice. Not just because I love his movies. That is the least important aspect of the entire thing. At the end of the day, despite Infinity War proving otherwise, there is someone else who can do a good Guardians movie. Not Infinity War, but there will be another creator who can do just as good of a movie as James Gunn. I don't care that much about that. Nor do I care too much about what it's going to be for his career. It's become clear that everyone in Hollywood now wants to hire him. And in fact, there appears to be discussions within Disney themselves around having him for other movies. James Gunn should be rehired for two very, very important reasons. Firstly, we can't let ourselves live in a world where someone like Mike Cernovich has the ability to render judgments over anyone that he disapproves of through such a disingenuous attack. And secondly, because we have to give space for redemption. The Guardians movies are all about the fact that you can redeem yourself, and by firing James Gunn, all Disney have shown is that they don't believe in that redemption. Let's start with Mike Cernovich. And the thing about Mike Cernovich is he might possibly be the worst person in the world. I have known about Mike Cernovich for years. He first came to prominence in what's now known as the first siege in the Culture War that eventually sprung what we now call the alt-right, which is a political movement that ultimately is just white supremacists, Nazis, and the grossest misogynists imaginable. And as part of that, he has defended many truly horrific people, including pedophiles. And that's part of the problem with Mike Cernovich. To him, accusing someone of pedophilia is not an actual attempt for justice, it is an attempt to attack people that he wants to attack. His views, honestly, it's hard to find a better way to describe them except pro-rape. This is a man who has very little in the way of redeemable features, and he has not proven any in the public eye. And the idea that he has judgment over us, that scares me. We can't let someone like him be the guiding beacon of morality, because quite simply, he has none. And then there is the fact that, as I said, James Gunn improved. Accountability is important. It's not only important, it is essential. And James Gunn should be held accountable for his actions in the past. And he was, 4 years ago, where he gave an honest apology for his actions, and he has not demonstrated anything that has suggested that apology was anything but sincere. And I have no idea about his private life, and nor does anyone else involved. And if there is something in the past, of course, in his private life, that is of course important. But from everything we know, he has made the effort to fix himself. And accountability does not exist if we do not also take into account how people improve, how people change. And so, this is why I'm standing up here, and this is why I want to make so clear, Disney should rehire James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3. This is not about the movie itself. This is not about protecting his career, which by all accounts is going to be almost unaffected. It is about making sure that we live in a world where people like Mike Cernovich do not have the ability to take advantage of morality to hijack society for his own, frankly, disgusting goals, and is to make sure that we actually keep people accountable in the way that accountability must work. And that means calling out people for what they did wrong, but also acknowledging how they've changed, how they've improved. Because we live in a world where we don't actually have the ability to improve, the ability to seek redemption for our mistakes. We might as well give up, because we've all made mistakes, and the only thing we can do as people is improve. If we don't let ourselves live in a world where we can better ourselves and we can actually make amends, we might as well give up. And so, rehire James Gunn. Thank you.